Hello, we are Sornia. As always, it is a pleasure, an honor, and we feel also a privilege to be able to have this exchange with you in this way. We hope you feel that as well, because we are here to assist you. We have said that to you time and again. You might be getting tired of us telling you that, but we're telling you that because we see what is happening. We see what you are going through. We're very connected to you, and we feel that coming forward, each one of us that are part of this alliance here of many different, what would you say, species in your cosmos. We're here to assist you. We are here to help you, not to give you the answers, but to help you. And we may want to share things with you that are difficult at times for you to hear. But because it's important you understand the nature of your experience as best you can, we feel bringing forth what might be difficult for you or difficult to understand is part of what we want to share with you and have that experience so that you feel not threatened or fearful or anything like that, but you are able to understand where the energies are leading and influencing. Let's use influencing, where the energies are being influenced and how you are creating those energies. So we want to talk to you about a couple of things today, and we will hopefully over time be sharing more what you call meditations or practices with you, because it was very important for you to maintain your physical, your emotional, your spiritual bodies, your mind, to understand all of that, to maintain them, to have balance and harmony, because all of that is evolving and changing. So there are a few things we'll chat about with you today, but it's all at this time, what we are bringing forth is all meant to encourage you, to give you background, to give you indications so that if something is looking like it is headed in a direction that will not be beneficial to you and humanity and all on the planet, you can, in your most powerful ways, redirect that. Let's get into it. You have all been, we're teasing a bit here, but screaming at what you call the universe or God or whatever. What's going on here? I'm feeling this way, and I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling cooped up, feeling lost. I'm feeling physically ill. Many of you are feeling physically ill. I'm feeling irritable. We could go on. You know what it is. And you have been feeling that without a doubt. And you might be asking yourselves, well, what's going on here? I have been fully aware of these processes, and I have been taking care of myself. And Sornia and others that I have listened to have told me or told us that we are strong and that we are able to do this, but I don't feel strong and I don't feel able. I feel debilitated and I feel that I'm incapable of succeeding at transmuting and transcending the limitations of the human third dimensional experience. Not all of you have felt this, but many of you have. And this is why we have come in and kind of decided that this is what we want to talk about with you today, to give you some encouragement, to let you know, hey, you are never without a lifeline. Your lifeline is inside of you in the form of your eternal self that's having that human experience. And you forget to remind yourselves of that, or it becomes difficult to feel it because the emotional body, as we've said, is, we don't like to use the word attacked, but it is being attacked, if you will, with the lower vibrations of these energies that are pervasive on your planet. And you may say, you've been telling us that for a long time. We hear you. When is it going to change? We hear you. And we say it'll change when enough of humanity awakens. And enough have not awakened yet, but they are. And they're awakening because all of you that hear these messages and take them to heart have been devoted and dedicated to understanding your own role in human form. So these experiences that you are having, each of you in your own way, it has been difficult. We hear you. And if it hasn't been difficult for you, don't think that you're missing something. It wasn't meant for you. But many of you have been feeling these energies, these lower vibrational energies, such as anger and irritation and all of that, because they are, how do we explain this? They're always there. And we have said to you, the emotional body has been the focus both of you as an eternal being in human form, but also of those forces that would like to keep humanity in a place of subservience and giving away their power. So how best to give away your power when you feel some sort of pain, either physical or emotional? You give away your power. That emotional experience is so daunting for many of you. It feels like you have no control over it. And remember that, because it only feels like you have no control over it. It feels painful. And you wish that there was just a quick and easy response to rid yourself of that feeling. So what many of you do, you have your distractions, and distractions are okay to a certain degree. Again, you decide, but you have your distractions, and many of you then feel okay for a while, but then it starts up again. So if we emphasize to you the nature of your current circumstances is to reclaim your sovereignty, reclaim your power from any and all external forces that have been manipulating you and all of humanity for a very long time. Although many of you are aware of it, you still succumb to the overwhelming force of these energies. And they are energies. And it manifests differently in all of you. So what we would suggest as a means of reclaiming your sovereignty is to pull yourselves back, as we say. Pull yourselves back and understand that you are giving away your power when you allow an experience that's outside of you to trigger so deeply. Now, we're hearing all of you go, yeah, okay, you try that. We understand. But if we come in and share with you just the flowery, superficial experiences, and yes, it's all good, we're not doing you a service. We come forward to share with you what we are seeing in a way that will help you, even though you know what we're talking about. You've already heard us say this. You know that this stuff is true, but yet we see that there is the disconnect between the actual knowing, that means you know with every fiber of your being what we are talking about in terms of reclaiming your power, your sovereignty, and the actual experience of doing it. We're not judging you. We're not saying you're doing it wrong. That's not what this is about. This is to assist you and say, whoa, you've gone in deep. You've gone in deep. You should be proud of yourselves, because it takes courage and it takes dedication. You're not just dedicated to yourselves. You're dedicated to the advancement, the enlightenment, the freedom for all. So it takes that energy to allow yourselves to sink down into that darkness. We'll call it darkness, in order to understand it, but more importantly, in order to reclaim your sovereignty, reclaim your power in the most excruciating of circumstances. It could be worse, of course. You could be physically tortured and all of that. We're not going to get into that. There are those individuals that have chosen that path, but know that what you're doing has value. You don't always know it when you're going through the experience. So what's going on there? Well, are you choosing it? You absolutely are choosing it. You are choosing to be angry. You are choosing to be irritable. You are choosing to feel like a victim. You are choosing it. And you know that. But you don't know it yet because you have to have the experience. You don't know it yet with every fiber of your being. So guess what? You are going into it, whatever it is that's your demon, so to speak, or you have many. You are going into it and, in a sense, allowing it. Not in a sense, you are truly allowing these emotions to be a part of you, and then understanding, because that's your next step, some of you have already done it, how you reclaim your sovereignty from that very emotion, but not in an intellectual way. You all understand this intellectually. Not many of you understand it with every fiber of your being, so it has to be this way. Don't feel discouraged. Yes, you have outside forces that are influencing this, but you're choosing it. So don't say, oh, the dark is really got their grip on us. Oh, yeah. It will always do that because it's its nature to do those things, to try to entrap humanity. Are you going to buy into it as being so much stronger than you? Choice. So the time you are experiencing in this third dimensional reality that you call this third dimensional reality is well, you've said it many times, a spiritual war. Each one of you chose, I know we're saying it again, but we want you to believe it. You chose to be in that reality at this particular point of evolution, not just for yourselves, but for the greater good, and we mean the greater good beyond the earth plane. And you have what it takes to have that experience. So we understand. We're not telling you to not allow yourselves those moments, but we're encouraging you to understand it. So as these experiences of these lower vibrations enter into your own personal energy system, say you wake up, however it happens to you, you wake up, because that's usually how this starts. You wake up one day and you feel irritable, or you feel physically like you're not in top shape, or you feel sad, whatever it is. Before you jump out of bed and start your day, why not take a moment? Assess. See, that's what we're really wanting you to do. Stop. What's going on with your body? Assess it. Assess what you are feeling. See, ask. What is this? Yesterday I was fine. I went to sleep. I did all my gratitude. I said my prayers. I woke up this morning and I want to kill everyone I come in contact with. Oh, I suppose that's a little extreme. I'm angry with everyone I come in contact with. What's going on here? You use your mind to ask, but then you use your inner mind, the eternal part of you, to get the answers. You put it out there, and then you stay open to how you're feeling, and let yourself feel the vibration and frequency of those energies that you have allowed to come into your energy system. You may say, but aren't they already there? Otherwise they couldn't. Yes, they're already there. For many of you, they're already there. But you're matching with what is external. You're matching those energies with what is coming at you externally, so it's amplified. Yours might be just a small amount, where what's external, especially at this time, is a large amount, and then it permeates your energy system and it makes you feel even a greater amount. But you want to understand it, and not with your mind. You want to understand it with your being, so you want to sit with it. But you don't want to keep it. You don't want it to be your identity. All of this we have said to you before. Why are we repeating things? Because we see that many of you have, it's been tough. It's been tough. And many of you are doubting your own purpose, doubting your own ability to manage the third dimensional reality the way it is. We get that. We get that. So we want that you know that there is a purpose to this, that it's not to teach you something, even though ultimately what every experience you have will teach you something if you so choose to look for what it is that you can learn from it. But what you are experiencing now is been created by you for the very purpose of liberating yourselves from the constraints and the limitations of that human form. So some of you may see the crumbling of structures that you've always been able to rely on, the things that you have depended on without even being aware. You've always depended on, let's say, the same person always brings you your mail every day, even though you don't know them. Maybe you say hello to that person, and that person is part of your life, and all of a sudden he or she is no longer there. And somebody else comes, and you feel a sense of loss. Be aware of those things. And maybe you don't. But these are the things, we used a very simple example, but everything is crumbling. For what purpose, you might say? What would be the purpose? If you look at what's going on in your world, you should be welcoming the crumbling of these structures and institutions and that which has been created with the third dimensional mind and not created with the eternal mind. You want those things to be dissolved. You want them to not be part of your experience or the rest of humanity. You want that those institutions and structures crumble, become dust, and then out of that dust something more beautiful and more loving and more compassionate comes from that destruction. So yes, you will be seeing and experiencing at this point, we can pretty much with confidence tell you, you will be seeing the crumbling of the status quo, the dissolving of what it's already happening, and many of you have probably seen it, but the dissolving and the, again, crumbling is our best word, of what has been. But if you remember that all of that is being destroyed in a sense or becoming dust was created with a mind. All of you created these structures and limitations, and all of that was created with a mind with limitations. And because those things that you hold so dear that are part of that don't belong or don't fit, we should say, with the new mind that is being created, that of the understanding that you are a creative being, eternal and all-powerful. It just goes without saying that you no longer need those buildings, those institutions, those individuals that function to maintain those structures and hold that up. Those individuals too will find a way of either changing or whatever, we don't know. But yes, you will see a lot be in your minds destroyed. If you look at it as being destroyed and not look at it from the perspective that we are sharing with you, then you can go into fear, because you are moving into a major shift in your reality. And this will be coming in the next couple of months. Those individuals, and this is where I guess our warning is to you, or an alert to be aware, those individuals who are choosing fear over love, to keep it really simple, will stay in a reality that is fear-based, more fear-based. And those that are choosing love will be in a reality on earth still that is more based in love and compassion in your true natures. It's not the complete ascension that we have spoken about, but it is a shift. So choose wisely, our dear friends, because you are paving the pathway for others to follow. That's why you're in a small number, because if there were a lot here, the energy would be diffused. So you're in a small number in strategically located places because you really don't know how it's so strategic and how there is an energy connection between each one of you that's on earth right now and with the connection that you have with someone else that maybe is located 5,000 miles away from you. Because you think, how can that be possible? Because it's possible. Anything is possible. And each of you are in those locations, and you form a type of human generated grid of Christ consciousness. You are holding that there while you are having your own personal human experiences. Our hats are off to all of you because it takes courage, it takes bravery, it takes dedication, and it takes a deep, deep understanding of your true nature to put on that earthly suit in that way. Deal with the loneliness, deal with the separation, deal with the unknown. Deal with what you do not understand fully because it's blocked from you. But know somewhere inside of you that there's a purpose to this. Celebrate that. Feel that. Because that's the truth. And any one of you, and there are several thousand of you, so they're not a lot, but each one of you, without you, it cannot be done. You may say, great, thank you, Sornia. Now you made me feel guilty for... No. That doesn't belong here. We've told you, and we will continue to tell you, you're doing everything exactly the way it needs to be done. Well, exactly maybe is too strong. You're doing it the way that you see fit. We come to nudge you forward or to give you something of a little bit more substance or understanding. No one is not doing what they set forth to do. You just don't remember it all because of where you went. You went into that dense third dimensional reality. But with this major, we'll call it a kind of a separation of humanity in a sense. That's not quite what we mean, but those of you who understand, and there are more that understand than are part of this human grid of Christ consciousness, just so you know. There are hundreds of thousands of beings on your planet that get this. Not all of them have a role to hold, be conduits, and be part of this grid of the Christ consciousness. But all of you are putting forth what is necessary for the continual advancement of all of humanity who so choose. See, we feel that this, I guess you could call it an alignment. When this alignment happens in the next couple of months, you'll feel it a shift. You have some eclipses to go through and planets aligning and things like that. You'll feel it and you'll see it. And that's when it might become very difficult for those with the understanding that you all have, because you will be seeing those people that you care about who don't understand and who are in fear become more victimized by their own fear. So it's not like you won't be in the same physical space as them, but you will be in a really different spiritual, emotional, and mental place than them. And then your work starts. You thought you might be doing work here now, but no, now your work is really going to start, and it won't be easy. We don't know the time frame. We say the next couple of months. Could be longer. Again, it's all part of a greater plan. Nothing is amiss. Nothing that's happening is wrong, but you must continue to do what you are doing, to hold that light, that divinity, be that expression, reclaim your sovereignty, reclaim your power. Keep doing these things. Hold on. The reward that you are looking for is coming soon. Maybe not entirely, because you're there to help humanity awaken. And humanity, yes, many are awakening, more than we had anticipated, but more will be awakening. And that's where you come in. Okay. We love you very much. You love us very much, even though you may not feel like you know us, but there is a beautiful harmony between us, within us. We are always here for you. We hope this helped you, kept you a little bit, uplifted you. Maybe not, but we hope so. Remember, joy and laughter are the best distractions that you can find for yourselves. Community, even if it's one person that shares your views. But find people that are in need and desirous of your love. That is the way you will heal those who are in need of, well, maybe heal's not the right word, but help those awaken, especially in the difficulty. Okay. That is all for now. We are Sornia. Goodbye.